Alright everybody, welcome back to round 4 action now of Friday Night Magic from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. Apologies for not getting my ugly mug off the screen earlier. But we're right into the action here as we've got on the right Nick Reid playing Junk Midrange. This is the Thragtusk, Restoration Angel, bounce all the things, make all the tokens type deck. Against Yen-shyang, who's playing his classic Jund mid-range deck, which is a much more controlling build, as we see an Abrupt Decay take out an Avacyn's Pilgrim. So in this matchup, Yen's going to basically be the control deck, and Nick is more of the beatdown, as we see a main deck Appetite for Brains from Yen. It's going to take one of those two Restoration Angels, leaving Nick with just Vampire Nighthawk and a second Restoration Angel. So the Nighthawk's going to come down here off of an untapped Godless Shrine. And Yen is going to immediately putrefy it. So Yen's deck just chock full of removal. And Nick's deck has a bunch of value, guys, but if Yen can successfully one-for-one him enough, Nick's deck doesn't really do that much. Restoration Angel is not that good if you don't have a Thragtusk token, Thragtusk to blink, I should say. So these guys playing very quickly. We see a Huntmaster of the Fells for Yen flip immediately, and then he's going to pile in. And Nick all the way down to 10 here. And this mid-range matchup might be over just as quickly as some of the aggro matchups I was trying to avoid out there. So Nick leaving his Restoration Angel back on defense, facing down the Ravager of the Fells, a Wolf token, and a Vampire Nighthawk. And deciding what he wants to attack with here. Deciding if he wants to serve in with the Wolf or not. So Nick can block the Wolf and absorb at 6 and drop down to 4. Or he can land another Restoration Angel. It's going to double block the Ravager. Take 4 from the other two creatures. Yen's going to go back up to 20. And add a Thragtusk, so back up all the way to 25, I should say. You purposely reanimate everything. So Nick flooding out a little bit here. Let's see what else he can muster up. And he's going to trade with the front half of the Thragtusk. Take 4 from the other two creatures, drop all the way down to 2. So Yen-shyang's deck very much taking the beatdown role here in this matchup. Not how he designed it. Yen's going to shock himself here and go ahead and play a Sire of Tyrants. So Nick basically playing off the top of his deck for the rest of the game. Draws a Vault of the Archangel off the top. That's not going to do it. So Yen very quickly getting a significant advantage over Nick with some removal early, landing a Huntmaster of the Fells and riding it out. So, much in my attempts to find matches that would last a little bit longer than the aggro mirrors, somehow found a mid-range match that ends even quicker. So it is just me here in the broom closet. Adam Vickers, who was co-commentating for the first 3 rounds, did have some other plans tonight, so he's taking off. Obviously, we'll inherit somebody when they are done out there. But until then, it's just me. This is Big Old Beard and my somewhat mediocre knowledge of Magic the Gathering card game. So like I said, we're watching Yen-shyang play here. He's on 3 points. He is undefeated. Nick is 2-0-1. He's in the draw bracket. So we've got undefeated, I said, we've got JB Roberts playing Vampires. I think it's a mono black Vampires list featuring Vampire Nocturnus, so that's always very exciting. JB likes to play his own decks. It's good to see him undefeated with a Spicy Brew. He's playing Logan Cutlip, who was playing American Auras earlier, Madcap skills on hexproof creatures, along with Ethereal Armor. Max Turner on 6 points. He's playing Troy King, who's playing Bant aggro. Max's deck is a big favorite in that one. Justin Sayer on Junk Reanimator up against another deck that's going to be tough for him to beat, the Grixis Zombies list of Casey Skibby. If you saw that in weeks past, Casey's playing basically a mono-black Zombies list, splashing blue for Diagraph Captain and splashing red, I should say, for Hellrider, which is very, very strong. We've got Garrett Meadows on the Esper Mill versus Michael Miller. I don't know what Mike's playing tonight, but they're both on 2 wins. And then we've got Scott Driver on Nia Blitz versus Joe Lewis, who we just saw playing last round with his Golgari aggro deck featuring Verils. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Basically a lot of 1-drops, a lot of aggressive creatures, Rancors, and then Verils to try and get some value out of some dead 2 toughness, 1-drop guys. Question in the chat about whether or not Nick should have revealed Vault of the Archangel at the end of the game, giving Yen some more information. And as the other commenters in the chat have correctly ascertained, everyone at the top tables knows what everyone else is playing. We are not that large of a community that we wouldn't be aware of that. So not too much value lost there. Of course, there is always something to be gained by keeping information from your opponent as much as you can. So I'm not going to argue with that fundamentally. To ignore me as I send a quick tweet to my wife. Alright, so these guys finishing up here with their sideboarding strategies. Guys, not a lot of people have participated in our giveaway tonight, so make sure you head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Look for that giveaway post, read it, figure out how to enter, win some free cards. I'm going to tell you right now, there is not an unlimited supply of rock, paper, scissors cards, and eventually I will just be priced out of giving them away each and every week. So take advantage while you still can. So Nick on the play here, down a game to the Jun deck of Yen-shyang. 2 tap Temple Gardens is how he makes his first 2 turns. Yen answers with the same play, just with Overgrown Tombs. Yen drawing a Vampire Nighthawk. We'll see if he wants to do that or put goes ahead and adds a Vampire Nighthawk to the board. He also has Underworld Connections in his hand, so he did have the option of playing that card advantage engine. Draws another Nighthawk, presented with the same choice as last time. And he chooses the exact same line there. Likely going to see a Restoration Angel out of Nick. No, it's a Putrefy. Going to take care of one of the Nighthawks. And there is the first Thragtusk of the game. Put Nick back up to 23. More importantly, giving him a threat on board. Yen drawing the Kessig Wolf Run, which is pretty big here, although Yen does not have access to red mana yet. So, so we've got some, apparently some role players here on the other side of the wall that are pretty vocal in their game. So I apologize for the ambient noise. We do have a full house here at Lost Legion tonight. Multiple games being played. That, of course, always a good problem to have. We see Nick answer back with an Appetite for Brains and whiff on it as a Putrefy, Underworld Connections, Mizium Mortars, and Dreadbore are revealed. Then then Nick, while Yen is tapped out, since he did see the Putrefy, goes ahead and uses a sorcery speed Restoration Angel to blink his Thragtusk. So smart play by Nick there to make sure he doesn't get blown out. since he knows the contents of Yen's hand. Chat also mentioning about the choice between duress and appetite for brains. Obviously, appetite whiffing in that instance, but appetite can hit cards like Thragtusk, and in this matchup, Sire of Insanity, which is pretty huge. So I think that's the reason why some of these decks have chosen to go that route. So there's an Armada Worm. Nick going pretty deep on his value, guys. As now he's about one Conjurer's Closet away from from this game getting out of hand. Of course, he doesn't have that card in his deck, but basically looks like he's playing that kind of strategy. And they're looking through the big box of tokens to find an Armada Worm token. I don't think there's one in there. Oh, no, there's not. They found that thing. So that's your worm token. I think that's I don't know. Is it a Voice of Resurgence token maybe? I just don't have all of the tokens. So apologies to everyone there. So both halves of the Armada Worm, a Restoration Angel, a Thragtusk, and a Thragtusk Beast token, staring down a Thragtusk and a Vampire Nighthawk. Dreadboar's going to take out the Armada Worm. Excuse me. We know Yen has a Putrefy in his hand too. He's going to leave that up to cast at instant speed. We're going to back up here as Yen's going to draw a card on his turn with the Underworld Connections land. See if the card he draws changes his outlook or game plan any. And it does not. So Nick's serving in with a 5/5 Armada Worm token, which gets putrefied, and Yen deciding what he wants to do with the beast. He's just going to eat 3. And the chat correctly identifying that token that we're using was the token from the Grove of the Guardian, I believe. The 8/8. So Nick put a lot of action on the board, still has a lot of business, but really not that far ahead here. As we see a Olivia Voldaren come down, and if Yen gets to untap with that, it could very quickly take over this game. Yen serving in with his 2-power Death Toucher, and Nick choosing not to block with his flyer. Nick flooding out pretty hard here. Well, he does have the Vault of the Archangel, and I imagine at least one copy of Gavney Township. He doesn't really have access to the kind of mana dump spells that Yen does in terms of Kessig Wolfrun and Rakdos Return. So Yen now with 3 red sources, so he can overload Amizium Mortars. I should say, I think he has 3 red sources here. And he does have enough mana here to ping and then steal the Thragtusk should he want to. 6 mana for overloaded Amizium Mortar. So he did, in fact, have the 3 red sources. Beast token stays as a Thragtusk dies. And Yen's going to serve in with his flyers. Nick's just going to take it. In turn, he's going to flash in a Restoration Angel. So Nick's serving in with his dudes. Front half of Thragtusk going to trade with the Beast token. And going to draw a card off his Underworld Connections. So Yen in a pretty good spot here. He already has Keswick Wolf Run on the board. Nick down to one card in his hand. Yen has a full grip thanks to the underworld connections. Have been filling his hand up here. And an active Olivia. There's a Liliana. This game is all over but the shouting. Edict, forcing Nick to sack his Restoration Angel. And now gets to serve in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Could be more if Yen chose to ping his own creatures, but not really at that point of the game, as well as Yen is well ahead. And another Thragtusk. But Nick's still putting up a fight here. Looks like he drew a Thragtusk of his own. No, it's a Sigarda. Sigarda, which ironically is one of the strongest cards now that they've changed the legend rule with the rules changes, as it is almost impossible to kill, short of a board sweep. So Yen untaps with a literal embarrassment of riches. Serves in with everything. If Nick's going to block a Sigarda, and what the heck did he just cast? I'm going to go get some clarification real quick. So he's casting Ready and Willing here, just casting the Willing side, giving all of his creatures Death Touch and Lifelink. So he can potentially go up to 14. And then Yen can pump for 5, 6. So he could take 11. I think this game is over. Yep. Yen had enough to overrun, and Yen still had all these kind of guys. He has another Olivia of Huntmaster, another Mortars, and another Thragtusk. So Yen-shyang doing what he does. The man top 8'd Star City Games Columbus, or top 16 Star City Games Columbus with this deck a couple of months ago. Not much has changed, and it is still a very, very good value deck. So guys, don't step away. I'm gonna step outside, see if I can find another feature match to slot over, and when I find another game for you, we'll be right back with some more action. So stay tuned.